Old Hollywood Marilyn Monroe inspires the Surface Retro Glam Windswept. Feathered perimeter lines are cut directionally with a deep beveled interior frame, which provides for a beautiful glamorous volume and texture. The structured layers allow for beautiful control while round brushing and setting. I've chosen to use the protein cream now to help protect, condition the hair as we're cutting. The protein cream will give me strength, it'll give me hydration, and especially working with some of the high lift blonding that we've done here to prep with, I really want that extra little control as I'm cutting. We're going to start by sectioning horizontally in through the back for a really nice clean outer perimeter line. The surface core cutting is the fundamentals of all of our trend work that we work with. Again, referring to the sections that we'll talk on. The red zones are temples right behind the ear, the green zone in through our top, the black zone our crown, and the blue zone in through our back. The first thing I want to do with our line for our Retro Glam Windswept is create a nice strong outer perimeter and then allow a feathered edge to over the top. So I'm working with our 7-inch swivel. One of the keys here is you'll see I'm able to work directionally left and directionally right to it. So I'll start right in the center of the back. I'm lining up a line just underneath my jawline. So I'm going to come in, and as I cut, I lightly roll my wrist under. You can see there's virtually zero tension on this outer perimeter. Coming in my opposite direction, always taking the hair in the direction that I want it to move. And we're going to take this really nice clean line with our shear just to below the occipital bone. Section just below the occipital bone and working directionally left and directionally right. Wanting a nice strong outer perimeter line. We'll continue our sections now up. The width of the section depends entirely on the density of the hair. Chantel's hair is on the thicker side here, so we're using about a 1/4 inch section. So we'll take those panels down, comb nice and smooth, and now I'm moving to the surface razor. And here where it's so important, especially with the high lift blonding that we have, to note that the blade on the razor, it's got that silica guard on it. The surface razor allows for the maximum in condition as we're cutting. So I'm going to pick up the section, I find my guide, and I'm going to use a beveling technique where I come in with the blade, I put the spine of the razor against the hair, find my guide, then lay down and lightly shatter those edges. And the shattered edges are going to start giving me a little bit more of a feathered movement underneath. As a right-handed cutter, I start on the left side. I work my way all the way across. It allows for speed, it allows for accuracy. And taking that line, and I'm pulling it straight back. And one of the special mentions that I'm going to share here is you'll see how I took our red zone from behind the ear and over-directed it back. It's important because when it falls forward, it needs that over-directed length so that it doesn't allow for that gap in behind the ear. So when that red zone is in behind the ear, we take it, pull it straight back, and the same thing on our opposite side here. You'll see me take that section and pull that line straight back and shatter the line off. And what we're going to do now is we're going to be continuing just up, dropping the section down, and bevel. As soon as we get to the top of the ear, we're going to work the head all as a whole. You'll find that the Surface TK2 clip is just wonderful for fast, clean sections. Taking that all the way to across my ends. One foul swoop and my section is right there for me. Now, this is the section that moves above the ear. And so we'll take the line down, just slightly elevate in the back, put the spine of the razor on as we did before, and lightly bevel that under, making sure that my section is coming straight to the back. And please take special note here where I take the red zone from behind the ear, and I over-direct that line back to shatter. So it falls forward now to become my length. I'm going to make sure Chantel's doing a great job looking straight ahead. And now I can pick that little bit of an over-directed length up and lightly shatter my outer perimeter. Now, having shattered the outer perimeter, the next thing we're going to do is drop the line down, and I'm sectioning right at the top of my occipital bone. So I section at the top of the occipital bone, working all the way around the head, and I'm going to section that left and right, and that'll be the last section that we're going to bevel. Now our very last section in beveling that outer perimeter, and you can see how we're running mid-tempo through the top of the occipital bone and around. Now what we're going to do is start a program in creating our layers. So we're going to section our black zone down, and we'll be using our guide from the top of the occipital bone to create our first 90 into our crown. Now we've sectioned through the high point of the head, which is just in front of the black zone, all the way down and across behind the ear. So what we'll do is we'll pick the hair up, comb it straight out, and the protein cream really helps me here. And now the hair from the top of the occipital bone is going to come up right at a 90 to the top. There's my guide, and as I cut now, I'm rolling the line forwards in upblending. So let's take a look at that length, and you can see how softly feathered those edges are. So now what I'll do is I'm going to continue to take these sections all the way down, pull them straight up, pick up that guide from my base, and upblend that line up. So we're continuing with that upblend, taking the guide from our occipital bone, combing it out, lifting it up, and then upblending across our black zone, our crown. And we're continuing that all the way around the entire head. Comb nice and smooth, lift that line up, and shatter the line away. Now, we're extremely fortunate with Chantel here. She's got very, very heavy hair, so she's got a heavy red zone area. But if you have someone with a little bit sparser hair, you may need to adapt just a little bit to leave more hair into that red zone. But here we can just basically follow that same line all the way up, working from center to the right. And now we'll continue to just pick up the hair from the left, lift that guide out from the occipital bone, lift it up, and shatter that line across. Combing nice and smooth, lifting that edge up and across. And we're working our way all the way around this entire occipital bone, lifting that up and across. And across, and here we're in that red zone again, and it's up and across. When we start to see that real rounded layer that falls in it, we're really going to be able to build out. And as we come in through the top now, what we'll do is we'll take a 1/2 inch, just going into my side ridge, to my opposite side ridge, take a 1/2 inch of the crown, and we'll blend it forwards. So you can see our black zone has got a beautiful shattered edge, leaving those really nice feathery ends. And we're going to pick up a 1/2 inch of it and blend to the front. Very important here. And the key to this is as we blend to the front, we need to leave a little bit more length as needed. Again, depending on your guest as to how much hair they have in their temples, we call our red zone, is the sparser they are, the more hair you may need to leave. Now, Chantel is quite heavy, so we don't need to leave as much hair. We comb it up nice and smooth, and I gather the hair in front of my second knuckle. So there's my guide, and let's take this now and shatter it off. Just going to get a little bit longer as I move towards the front, not much. So continue to take nice, clean sections, and this guide, as it moves across the front, is traveling again. The actual guide is coming from the back of my black zone, and we'll continue this all the way across the front. As I'm moving to the front, we're going to want a little bit of a side movement here. So you'll see now that I swing my hand as I'm cutting, just in the direction that I'm going to want that hair to fall. Combing very smooth, The Trinity Protein Cream gives me great control on that hair, gives me great protection. And the real reason of using the surface razor here is to have that little bit more of a feathery end, that softer edge, so it doesn't fall too blunt, because this is going to have a lot of movement when we're complete. So everything now, I'm at my opposite side ridge. Lift that section straight up and shatter that line off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a 1/2 inch from our green zone, the top on each side. We'll hold it straight out at a 90 and lightly blend the corner. So I'll start on my left side, drop a 1/2 inch out, and you see that little corner that I've got right in the inside. The reason I really like to leave this until the end is if that guest is sparse, you can leave more hair on. If they're thicker, you can take more of the corner off. So let's section nice and smooth, and this guide from my top line comes straight out. There it is. It's coming straight out from the head, parallel to the floor, and let me blend that edge off. And I'm going to work my way all the way around the haircut, taking that line out and blending that corner off. Take that line out and blend the corner off. Now you'll find too with the cutting system that we built our layers in the back by holding that up at a 90 and dropping it down. There's a soft corner in the back. If the guest is fine, leave the corner on. If the guest is very heavy, you want to make sure you take the hair out, find that little corner, and blend it off. So we'll continue just to take that out, find the corner, blend it off all the way around the entire head. Take that corner out and shatter the line off. So at this point here, we start to really see our finished inner perimeter layers start to fall. But what I really need is I need some lift. And again, when we round brush this, we're going to lift it up. It's going to have some great fullness to it. And throughout the entire haircut, I need a deep beveled frame. So what we're going to do now is I can imagine the direction of fullness that we're going to set our hair into, and we're going to go through the entire haircut, and we're going to use a technique called deep beveling, all in the direction that we want it to move. So let's lift the hair up. I'm going to work this now with my knuckles to the head. Take the blade, put it in, and just lightly frame and bevel. So the short pieces that I'm creating inside for my frame are going to support any of the curling iron set work that's going to be done after. So we're coming all the way through, and wherever I want more lift, I'm building out my frame. And we're going to work that all the way through the entire haircut, just every direction that I want that frame in. It's knuckles to the head, shatter that line under. We'll continue to work all the way through. So we're taking all the sections, virtually in the size of a big barrel type iron, and all the way through the entire haircut, I'm using that light beveling technique to create the lift. Now, when she comes back in next time, I'll be lighter with the beveling technique, or maybe even just bevel at the base where it grows out. Don't need to always continue to the ends. So creating that frame all throughout the entire haircut to give us lift. Now we're going to frame in around the face. So we'll take exactly where we're going to want some of that part line to fall. And we're going to work with some real daring, more exaggerated parts. So we'll give ourselves a little bit of grace in around the eye hairs. Drop this line down. Take that part line across. And working it a little bit deeper. You can see the angle I'm working with. And I'm going to work longer in around the face as I walk the shear. Thumb on the bottom. Lay that line in. And then as I'm walking, I just lightly flutter my thumb. And I'm just lightly taking that corner, feathering that corner off. In through my front fringe line now. Take the section down, comb it really nice and smooth, and short pushes long away. So I'll take that section, drop it down by my cheekbone, and now watch as I flutter my thumb, I rotate my wrist under. Listen to this word here, because for glamour styling, it's your go-to product. And what that is Reflect. You'll see Reflect, it's a water-based gel. So you'll see that it comes out looking like a real gelatin. And then as I apply it to the hair where the hair is damp, it just slips through for perfect application, and the blow dry is going to be full, it's voluminous, and it really sets us up at that point for our curling iron. And get ready for glamour styling to get that big barrel iron out again. So I'm working the Reflect all the way through the hair from base to ends, and as the water-based gel, the Reflect just goes all the way through, and it's really the vegetable cornstarches and sugar fibers that give us our beautiful set here. And Jackie's going to be with us to blow dry with a round brush it a bit, and then set for a glamour look for our Marilyn.
Gorgeous. So you can see how Reflect gave us this tremendous volume and a wonderful heat set with my Tourmaline TK2 surface round brush. Really just stacked the haircut, did all the work for us. We just went in there and smoothed that cuticle, gave her tons of shine and volume with the Reflect. Now, let's go in, take her a little bit further back for some old Hollywood glamour. Working with Theory, a nice light mist through my section, comb it through. Theory dries extremely quickly, allowing for a nice clean press with any type of iron you might be working with. So I'm gonna come in here, set this barrel curl, last one, brick-laid the back, and just worked with how I want that finished look to fall. Now for my finishing touches, I'm gonna give her a light misting with the Bassu Shine Spray. It's gonna just soften the texture, allow for a nice, easy comb out. I'm gonna come in with my surface rake, and I just wanna break up the set, allowing the curls to fall. You can see how the deep beveling technique has given us tremendous volume. It's gonna be a ton of fun to play with in the photo shoot. And now, I'm gonna come in with the Shift Shine Wax, melt it into my hands. The aloe vera fiber is gonna give me some nice medium hold, great, tremendous shine for healthy, textured, high glamour Marilyn hair.